Introducing Mama's Kitchen, now on Amazon. Over 300 recipes and cherished family memories all in one cookbook. Get your copy today and bring the taste of home to your table. Order now on Amazon.
Talk to me in the shadow, on the street lights on the corner. City vibes got a story. Feel the beat, don't ignore me.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. Thanks again for tuning in. And I have to go ahead and do the promo. If you guys have not yet subscribed, liked, shared, I would really appreciate it if you would do so right now. Sister trying to come up in this game, okay? But I hope everybody's doing well. And tonight you guys are in for a special treat. It will not be a waste of your time, especially for my ladies in the audience. We are dealing with a time on where womanhood has been thrown out the window. I'm looking at this as a woman. I'm like, where the hell does Sexy Red come from? Where did this have a pop up from? And this is like an example we got for our youth, and as well as the old hoochies too. I ain't gonna even just say it's the young girls. It's the old hoochies too. Y'all up here doodling brown and on your lips and gonorrhea and all that other stuff. Y'all doing the most out here. What happened to our pride as a woman? So that's why I wanted to have this conversation. It's very necessary, as well as the guest I'm bringing on to discuss. And I know y'all going to say, well, if you're going to discuss womanhood, why'd you bring a man? Well, number one, isn't it good to get a man's perspective on womanhood? Not saying he's going to tell you how to be a woman, but in a man's eyes, and a man who's also raising daughters. So this is why this man's opinion is very valid, as well. If you don't check his resume, he's got several books, and they're all geared toward women. Letters to My Daughter. The last book he wrote for me right here, The Over-Sexualization of Black Women in America, I read that twice because I related to the conversation that he was having in this book. So if you guys check him out, his name is Avery Washington. This is another appearance his brother has made on the show. So let's welcome him in. Avery Washington, what's popping, sir?
What's happening, Michelle? How you doing? I appreciate you having me. All the love.
Hey, I always got love for you, brother. You know, I like intellect because, you know, if I can't have a conversation with you over 3 minutes and it's giving me a headache, we don't need to talk.
I understand. Hey, men feel the same way when we're having conversations with women. So we like to be stimulated intellectually also.
Yeah, I need to have a valid conversation. I need to make sure we're on the same page. But you are the perfect person to have this conversation with. Like I said, all your books are geared toward women. You also have a latest edition for the young queens that we're raising. It is Kinsley's Dreamy Wonderland?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me a little bit about that project, because you know I haven't read the book, but I definitely want to hear about it.
Okay, Kinsley's Dreamy Wonderland is a book that was based on my first granddaughter, but we had a tragedy during the birth of my first granddaughter, and we lost her. So I spoke to thank you. I spoke to my wife, and we spoke to our daughter, and our daughter wanted to keep her name living. She wanted to keep Kinsley's name living. So what I did, I had already started writing the book, and this is the book right here. When Kinsley, when she was pregnant with Kinsley. Oh. So when I finished the book, I had to change the dedication page to memorialize her, you know. And basically Kinsley is about Kinsley's Dreamy Wonderland is about a little girl who falls asleep and she dreams about different dream professions, like becoming a doctor, becoming a chemist, becoming an astronaut. So I wrote this book to inspire little girls to dream big, and they can become whatever they want to become.
Yeah. I saw the artwork. Like I said, I haven't read it, but I know every book you put out there always got that Avery touch. It's like, you know, the Midas touch. So I know when I saw this publication, coming out. And I was so happy to saw that you wrote a children's book. Unfortunately, I didn't know the circumstances, but it is a honor for your grandbaby to have that book carrying on her legacy.
And you know the type of man I am. You know, I have raised 3 daughters. So, you know, all of my books are empowering women because of my daughters. So for anybody who's not familiar with me, the reason why I write the way I write is because as a father, I want to empower my daughters to do great things. And I also want to teach them how to become respectful young women in the world today.
Yeah. And I know as a father, that's a very challenge. It's a challenge for any parent to be a parent. But in this particular time that we're in and the examples that we are having, and it's not even have to be on a celebrity status. It could just be a scroll on social media and you see image after image, video after video of a situation of a woman being ratchet or being disrespected.
Yes.
Okay. I think it's a lot on our young women and they anticipate popularity. And sometimes that's a mixed message because popularity means, well, let me gravitate to what everybody's looking at.
Correct.
So I'm going to ask you as a father, and I know it's a little off topic, but how do you keep that basically steering your daughters away from that imagery?
Well, I tell them the truth about how most men think. I tell them my experiences when I was in college. I tell my daughter straight up, your daddy was a hoe in college. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most men are when they're in college. So as a woman, to me, in my opinion, from my experiences, a woman is the person that can control how a man will approach her and how a man would treat her. Now, don't get me wrong. You do have your disrespectful guys who will just be disrespectful no matter how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, if a woman carries herself with class and she's ladylike, a man, even if he's not the most respectful guy, he's going to step his game up and approach her in a respectful manner because he knows that she's not going to tolerate any disrespect.
Yeah. And you know what? And the thing about it is, you said they were hoes in college. They hoes now. So,
well, hey, I didn't say the women was hoes. I was talking about the business.
That's what I'm talking about, the men right now, because you said, you know, men have their whole stage.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm in my 50s and I'm like, dude, when you try to socialize, have a conversation, even try to connect, unfortunately, that still trickles into my age bracket as well. And I'm like, I could have sworn you had a moment where you had a moment to get it out your system, but apparently, I guess because of all the availability and the low expectations that we have nowadays, it's a little bit harder to commit when there's so much temptation.
You know what it is? Men of substance are not out there being hoes at 50 and 45 or whatever. Men of substance have careers and things are more important to them, like family. I've been married over 26 years. So, you know, men of substance don't be out there chasing women and doing all of that. But I just brought my 17, she just made 18. I just brought her to Southern University in Baton Rouge. And she just started, you know, as a freshman. And, you know, I told her straight up that, you know, you want to be a woman that guys respect and protect. Yeah. Not the woman that guys spread rumors around about, you know, her being, you know, sexual with everybody on campus. And I've been teaching them that since they were young about respecting themselves, and that, you know, respect goes a long way, because when I was in college, there were women that guys spoke negative about that was sleeping around with guys, but there were also women that guys will protect from these guys that would try to sleep with them because they respected those women and they loved and cared about those women. And you, as a young lady, want to be one of those women that is respected and protected.
Mm-hmm. And I wish that I could clone you. I promise you, I wish I could clone you, brother, and just add some, you know, different features for customization. But we're gonna work through it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work through it. But historically, when I look back at womanhood, or at least the women in my family, there was a sense of pride. Now, look, everybody got to touch a ratchet. Let's not lie.
But that's behind closed doors. That's not in public. And now, don't get me, I'm a man. We sexual beings. We supposed to be sexual, but it's a time and a place to be sexual, because you can't get upset if you're carrying yourself like Sexy Red and people are gonna say we're judging. I'm a father of daughters. So, hey, if you say I'm judging, I'm judging. But I don't want my daughters to carry themselves like Sexy Red because they're going to bring very negative attention to them all the time.
Yes.
I want them to carry themselves like Alicia Keys or like their mother, basically. You know what I'm saying? Someone
Right.
who carries themselves with respect. And like you say, historically, you know, women were caring, they were nurturers, they were teachers to the children at home. You know, they made sure that the house was in order, but they also supported their man because a lot of the way women are reacting and acting out now, I think has a lot to do with the lack of a father being in the home or a lack of a strong man being there. Because historically, men were out going get it and they were taking care of their families. So when a woman sees a man leading, and you know how some men they're weak and they'll say, "Well, she won't let me lead." It's not letting you lead. You're supposed to lead. If you lead your household and your wife in a positive and strong way, she's going to naturally follow. She's going to naturally support you. You know,
Exactly.
and when I say submissive, it's not submissive to where, hey, I'm bossing you around. She trusts you. She trusts your decisions because of the history that you've had together. She's watched you pull through the tough times. I had a situation in my marriage where I got laid off from a job. And my wife, you know, was like, hey, you know, don't worry about it. We just had a baby, stay home, and I'll take care of everything. So when I do, you know, seminars or whatever, and I speak to women, I ask them, I say, why do you think my wife trusted me to tell me, hey, you know, stay home, I got this, you know, relax. We just had a baby, relax, I got it. And what they told me was, she's watched you over the years and she knows what type of leader you are. So she was comfortable in doing that because she knows that you have proven yourself to her. So to me, a lot of men of today need to prove themselves to the women that they're involved with, and then they won't have to worry about their woman supporting them because they are leading by
Right.
example and by the
Right.
work they're putting in.
And that's such a good scenario because see, men don't understand that concept about submission from women. If I feel secure, I don't care if you tell me we got to go down this dark alley because you've already shown me that you got it. I don't have to worry about it. But you know, fantasy. Anyhow, let me get your insights from your book, Letters to My Daughters, on how you define and nurture these qualities in your daughters, what you've already gone over, but the reflection of the wisdom that you pass. We have this wisdom that's passed through generations. Do you think we're losing that, especially when it comes to the influence of womanhood from women family members?
You're asking me, make sure I understand the question. You're asking me, do I feel that women family members are missing?
The influence of our family members, because you know, like I said, I reflected on my aunts, my cousins that were older than me because they set an example of womanhood. But do you see that kind of example diminishing in the Black household, particularly with women?
I can't speak for the households, but I can tell you from a career standpoint, a lot of women are working, and they're working because they have to support their children because it's a lot of separate homes. A lot of fathers are not in the home. So I think a woman out working, 60 hours a week is taken away from raising that daughter and her seeing that feminine woman there and getting that feminine touch from a woman for as the lessons that she needs to learn. But also, like I said, it goes back to the men again. As men, we're supposed to lead. We're supposed to make that household comfortable for the wife to where she can be there and nurture the children. If she's out, she can't nurture the children. So in that aspect, for as the men not being in the home and women having to go out and work, I think that is damaging to the upbringing of a lot of our children.
Yeah, it is that we have to have, both parents got to have more than one job, or one hustle. But you absolutely right that now we are a bigger part of the workforce. It does kind of put an impact that we didn't even realize on our young ladies when it comes to being influential women of family.
All
Okay.
right. And that's when the negative media steps in and they try to, miseducate our children, and they end up being the Sexy Reds and
Just off topic, where does heifer come from?
I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, like in my book, Over-Sexualization of Black Women in America, I touch on all of that.
Oh,
And
yes, you do.
yeah, and
You should mail her a copy.
but what it is, you know, to me, I think us as Black men, again, and I take ownership in where we failed as Black men. And I think, you know, we failed Black women because remember there was a time where we had the positive music where we were speaking about how much we love and how much we respected our women. At some point, we let these white executives take ownership of our culture and our music, and now they're purposely putting out degrading music, you know, to over sexualize our women. As Black men, we have to defend our women, and we have to continue to put out work like I'm doing, putting out positive work that's going to support and uplift our women. As a Black man, I should not be creating content that's going to be damaging to our young girls or disrespecting our young girls and disrespecting our women. I owe it to our women to put out positive content that's going to uplift them and you know, raise them up into where people respect them and not degrade them.
And I'm glad that you are pushing that content ever since I met you many, many moons ago, that you've always been a positive role model in that aspect. So I do applaud and appreciate that you do bring positive content for young women as well as grown women to look at as an example. But let's take an exploration of the social pressures and how they reshape the perception of a woman's worth. How much do you think that's changed?
It's changed tremendously through social media. Because a lot of these children today, they don't go outside and play like we did. You know, they're in their rooms. Their parents don't know what they're looking at. And social media has been used to demonize our women, to demonize our culture, to create low value human beings, you know, through social media. And that's what's happening. And social media can be a powerful tool if we just come together as a people. If we could put out a lot of positive affirmations to each other. You know, what if someone opened social media today and a Black woman saw a Black man talking about how much he loves and how much he respects her? You know, that would change the mindset of how young women feel about Black men. You know, now you hear Black men degrading Black women continuously. You know, if I'm a young Black girl and I'm being degraded all the time, why would I love and support you? You know, and that's what's happening today. So now you got Black men arguing with Black women, and you know, it's just, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. But you know what? I'm glad that you said that, because there is a lady, and I hate that I don't have her name at hand, but she's a comedian, and I follow her on TikTok. And she does a series where she randomly walks up to Black men and says, "Hello, King, you are too handsome not to be smiling."
I saw that, yeah.
And she does a series of these videos, and I thought that is so dope, because how often, especially our Black men, get appreciated and approached that way? Like, brother, you know, come on, smile, you got it going on. And it just gives them that spark of the day. So I'm gonna have to look her up so I can make sure everybody's aware of her. But from the insights of your over-sexualization of Black women in America and how media have had these narratives that have contributed to these views, you spoke on that a moment ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to the next one with the role of social media, entertainment, beauty industry. I definitely want to get to the beauty industry, and I'm gonna give you a prime example. You know, my side hustle is Uber. And I picked up a young lady from an apartment complex. I mean, this was like Candyman, Cabrini Green looking shit. Okay, so I'm like, okay, let me hurry and get her in here. She got in the car and she had to sit in the back seat on her knees because she just had that procedure done. So I had an aha moment before I drove up. I said, I'm looking at your surroundings. And I'm not sure if you visiting somebody, but if this is your residency and you decide to get surgery on your behind, we got some mixed up priorities. And it was just that example. And I had to really think about it. I said, so, you know, some of these people or women are so pressured to look a certain way that they feel that they have to make, you know, priority sacrifices over superficial ones. So I think that kind of also influences our young women. I mean, what's your take on the BBLs, the eyelashes, and the overdoing it?
What you just described, you know what I do with those images? I send them to all of my daughters in the group chat. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This is how I parent. And I tell them, don't you ever in your life feel that insecure to where you change
You look like
your
that.
body the way you look. I'm serious.
No, I
And
know you are.
and well, the parents, we have to go back to the home.
Yeah.
I tell my daughters every day, I love you. You're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I give my daughter her freedom at Southern, but don't get me wrong. I'm texting her saying, how was your day?
Yeah.
I love you. We have to continue to give those children love affirmations,
Yeah.
even adult women. You know, I have a 28-year-old that's married. I still tell her I love her today. You know, I had a conversation with her today. She called me whenever she, needs some help going through something, whatever.
Right.
And, I'll be there for her. And we got to be there for our daughters. It's so important for a man to give love affirmation to his daughter from the day she is born, because you're going to have so
Yes.
many weak men that are predators that are going to notice that she didn't receive those affirmations, and they're going to tell her everything that she wants to hear, and they're going to take advantage of her. And now she's going through a whole nother circle of trauma
Oh, yeah.
in her life, because she's going to continue to go through trauma, and that's when she's going to have multiple date multiple guys, multiple relationships. It's a crazy spin.
It
And
is. It is because it sticks. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it sticks with you because I know grown women that do suffer from that. They did not have those positive male affirmations from a person of family, father, uncle, brother. And when they become adults, unfortunately, any little flirtation is like the key. Oh, somebody's showing me positive attention, and they could be the biggest snake in the bundle.
a lot of them think sex is positive attention.
Yeah.
So that's where you get a lot of them being promiscuous.
And that is something I also think that I'm stunted, I'll say, when I look on social media and I go to a live and there's someone professing their sexual acts without no shame. And usually I would anticipate that from men, but I'm seeing more women do it.
But
And I'm like,
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna be raw and uncut, because
go,
you
go,
know you
go,
wanted a
go,
man's point of view.
go.
You were talking about these BBLs and all of that stuff. We as men have conversations about this stuff when we're at cigar bars and stuff like that. We do not like none of that stuff. We don't understand why they are doing it. Men like natural women.
Yep.
We talk about this all the time. You spoke about the eyelashes and stuff like that too. I mean, to each his own, but we as men, we be like, why do they do that? We don't understand it. And when you and I are having this conversation, but if we were having this conversation with some women right now, as a man being honest, you know what they would say? Oh, you hate women, or you dislike women. Nah, I'm just being honest with the honest conversations that men have, So
Yeah.
we really don't understand it.
And that's what because me as a woman, I look at it. I'm like, I understand you want to enhance your look. Like, I mean, I got this in my head. Of course, it's not my hair, but I'm not gonna go overboard with the implants, the lashes, and then I gotta get my butt, my gut tucked and all of that. What it is, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it or leave it.
Yeah.
So I think that some women feel pressured that if they don't look a certain way, because that's what we see in mass media, that's what we see in social media. These women that are built a particular way, they have certain features that men are attracted to. And if I don't have it, then to get that kind of attention, I need to go out and get that done.
But I still don't understand, where do they think men are attracted to that from? Yeah, it's put out there on social media, but we are not attracted to these fake bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand. And you know what it is though? Who's giving them positive affirmations?
Yeah.
The internet. They're not receiving it from home, because if they were receiving it from home, they wouldn't change their natural selves to become someone they're not.
Exactly. Exactly. But we're just in a society where I think women feel that they need certain features or looks or whatever the case may be to get the attention from men.
So when the
Unfortunately, that's
looks go away, what's going to happen?
yeah.
Also, what type of man are you trying to get attention from?
Ooh,
Because
say
check
it.
this out. As men, when we speak, if you are attracted to that, even if you're not attracted to it, you know what type of attention she's trying to get. So
Yep.
you're going to give her that kind of attention so you can have sex with her, if that's what you want. So you using your body to get a man is not giving you a man of substance. That's giving
Right.
you some temporary attention.
Mm-hmm.
And me as a man myself, I like being stimulated intellectually, like we touched on earlier. You know, a woman could physically not be a 10 to the so-called standards, you know, out here in the world today. And if her conversation stimulates my mind intellectually,
Yes.
she will physically become attractive for me, you know.
And that's the same effect on me. I promise you, I'll be talking to a decent looking brother, and if his conversation is on point, my toes are curling in my sandals. So I'm good on that. I mean, I appreciate a good conversation because you cannot have sex all day. That cannot be the foundation of the relationship. Yeah, it's in there, but that's not the foundation of it.
Mm-hmm.
Lord have mercy. What we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So now we're gonna get to the challenges that women face today and maintaining their self-worth amidst these social pressures. Now, I can only speak from a woman's perspective that I always keep it 100 with myself and anybody who deals with me. I'm not going to be walking on eggshells for anybody. But I do have boundaries and I do have a checklist if I'm going to be affiliated with you. And now, you know, some people may take that as you being uppity or snobbish. No, it's called standards.
What's your checklist?
Oh, my checklist. First of all, a decent conversation. You got to have a decent conversation. You have to have empathy. You know, you can't be out here being spiteful just to be spiteful.
Right.
And you need to be authentic. Do not put on one mask for me, and then when you leave the room, the mask fall off and you a whole different other person. This is just basic stuff. I don't want to deal with a fatal attraction situation where I'm coming home to a boiling rabbit on my stove. I don't need that.
Yeah, you're speaking of some good intrinsic qualities. And as a man, you know, we feel the same way. You know, we want those qualities.
Yeah.
You know, and we want somebody that's also gonna support our dreams, somebody that's positive, somebody that's uplifting, you know, somebody that's a go-getter also, my wife, she supported my dreams and I support hers, and we continue to do that, 26 years later. So I mean, we need that, but we also want a mate that's attractive also, and that continues to work on staying attractive. Another thing that happens is that people get comfortable in relationships and they stop taking care of themselves.
That it can be a comfort level, but it also could be the lack of whatever passion, because I know that there are some women that will get in relationships that get married and all of a sudden she didn't flipped up overnight. And it's not that she's gotten too comfortable. I think, from what was previously discussed, that sometimes the effort on their partner's behalf makes them feel like, well, even if I climb this mountain and I lose 50 pounds by tomorrow, it's still not good enough for you. So I always advise women, if you're going to do that, mainly do it for yourself. Right. Number one, because that way you keep it up on a more consistent level. It's showing yourself love, and we all get to those points when we don't want to be bothered with going to the gym, eating right, and all that other stuff. But at the same time, it is a form of self-love.
Yes, and self-love, since you're speaking of that, that's what I write about in letters to my daughters also. I teach them about self-love and also faith. I teach them to embrace the love of God and self, so they wouldn't desperately seek love from man or anyone else,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And, never sacrificing their love, never live your life according to man's expectations, because, they're above the expectations of man. They're God's creation. Just keeping them faith-based and also keeping them in love with themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's a big problem a lot of women, even adult women, have nowadays, because even if they didn't have the influence of the love, when they were younger, we find it difficult to get out the rut and actually start to, it's okay to be a little selfish. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to go get your facial, your nails done, all that other good stuff. There's no crime. But I think with most of us also being mothers and having so many more responsibilities that we feel guilty at times when we do that. But I know I don't.
And what about having a relationship with yourself too? That's something that I'm really strong with them. Even my daughter that's married, I told her, I said, you were an individual before you got married.
Yeah,
Make sure you don't lose who you are. I said, make sure you have a relationship with yourself, because so many people lose themselves in relationships because they don't have a relationship with themselves. So when that relationship ends with the other person, now they're distraught and they don't know what to do. So
exactly.
I think that's very important to make sure you have a secure relationship with you.
No, it needs to be that security in there. But like I said, it's about everybody's efforts. Now, could you tell me your thoughts on how women can reclaim their identity and focus on their inner qualities rather than their social expectations?
That's hard for a lot of people to do because of how fast paced this world is. But I think young women of today, need to take time for themselves, meditate, pray, ask God for guidance, and look for a mentorship. Just like you were speaking of earlier about, you used to get, you know, uh, lessons from aunts and, other females in the family. I
Yeah,
think since the world is so busy, a lot of people are not receiving that. So you have to take time and just meditate and ask God for guidance and get a mentor and just read some positive books with some positive affirmations in it, and take time to learn about yourself, learn what you like, learn what you're passionate about.
matter of fact, you
Uh,
speaking of positive affirmation, I got to make sure this is a spot here on my girl's book, Seeing Through a Spiritual Lens. I know I got the little blur going, but this is Jules McQueen's book that's on Amazon. So y'all make sure y'all go pick it up. I just started reading it. So far, so good, y'all. Make sure y'all pick it up. Y'all want that positive affirmation, life changing information. But sorry, I had to do a shameless plug. So
no, that's all good. But the reason why I said it was hard and difficult because a lot of fathers are not in the home, like I was saying, and that's so important, very important.
yeah,
I just watched a Netflix special with it's called Daughters, and I want you to watch it. It's very powerful. When I first wrote letters to my daughters,
uh-huh.
it's a lady named Angela Patton that in Virginia that has a facility where she takes care of girls and facilitates their relationships with their fathers and everything. So
I'm gonna check
it's a
that out.
powerful thing.
Yeah, I'm glad that we have some films like that kind of giving examples because, even as, young ladies and grown women sometimes did not have that example of the relationship. So even if you get to, see some cinema that gives you a little peek of it, I think that's a positive type of way of moving forward and getting your self love on. But when it comes to this book, I want to get back to with your grandbaby. Um, it's so important. I know when my son was younger, it was important for me to make sure he saw himself in storybooks. I mean, we had traditional storybooks, but I want to make sure he saw himself. And I will never forget one of his favorite books was the Spike Lee Please Puppy Please book.
Mhm.
And I used to read that to him repeatedly. And I love that you have the same type of concept with your book, Kenzie's Dreamy Wonderland.
Yeah, this
And
is a page from it here where she's a chemist, you know, uh, different careers like that. This is another page where she's a doctor, and she's caring for a patient.
yeah,
So
we need that.
yeah, we really do. We really
No,
do.
we really need that. But I think with books like, the one that you've just recently released, as well as other great Black children books, and it's very important that they need to see positive images from the time they get here to the time they get to be an adult. So
Mhm.
I think that's also a situation we have with some of our women. But even though I'm going from your child's book to uh womanhood, do
Mhm.
you feel that men are somewhat responsible on how women are either behaving or going for social acceptance.
100%.
Why do you feel that way?
Like I was saying earlier, in over-sexualization of black women in America, we can go all the way back to slavery when the black men were getting raped in front of their wives and children and hung and separated from their wives and children. So now the black woman is feeling unprotected. You know, we have that quote saying the black woman is the most unprotected.
Yeah.
So basically you go through from that till you go through the pimp movement. Remember when pimps were talking about how they would break a woman?
Mhm.
Okay, the slave masters broke you and they broke your women. So why, as a black man, would you brag about breaking a woman down, tearing her self-esteem down? This was one of the first points where black women started, you know, being degraded by their own men. So you broke your woman down, you're selling on the street, you're beating her up. That's nothing positive about that. You're not instilling any positive affirmations in it. When the slave master was raping our women, and his wife would catch him, and he would tell her, "Oh, they're innately hypersexual. She wanted it."
Yeah.
When the blaxploitation film industry came around, there was a time where we could have portrayed black women in positive roles and changed that negative narrative that was created that black women were innately hypersexual.
Yeah.
But instead, we cast our women as prostitutes and hoes. You know, I blame the black film industry for that. I think we should have been accountable, and we should have been making movies that were going to uplift our women. So, you know, you go to the music industry now, you know, the music industry is doing the same thing. And I look at the music industry now as the new and improved Willie Lynch letter. Except the white man not doing it. We doing it to ourselves.
That's putting it lightly, but that's a hell of a comparison.
I mean, it's a fact. All we doing is degrading each other. We talking about killing each other. You know, we talking about degrading our women, drugging our women, raping our women.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing positive. It's nothing where black men are showing that they love their women anymore. And it's so easy to change if we put out. I'm gonna give a perfect example, and I won't say any names. There was a very famous radio station where Leor Cohen, one of the biggest music executives in the music industry, was asked, "Why do you put out music that is degrading black people, that is getting black people locked up as disrespecting our women?" And I'm paraphrasing that, but I'm quoting his answer.
Yeah.
His answer was, "My family has to eat too." And when he said that, he got no pushback from the interviewer, from the black interviewer. That pissed me off when I saw that. When you got a national platform, this white man is looking you in your face and telling you, we putting out this degrading music, and basically I don't care about your people because my family gotta eat too. So in my opinion, from just looking at the history of this, because if you look at the music during slavery, how impactful music was, you know, how it led a lot of our people to freedom. If you look at the civil rights movement, how impactful music was, how it brought our people to freedom. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the love music that we had, you know, how it was a lot of black love and a lot of men professing their love for their women. Don't think these music executives didn't see that, how powerful the music was, and say, you know what? We want these people to fall. We got to get them back on track.
Got a program.
Let's create this degrading music. We're gonna pay a young guy that's poor $1 million to put out this negative messaging to the masses.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
But the sad part about it is, like I said, you know, you did tap on when we had positive imagery in our music. Because I know, you know, we were all around when hip hop first hit the scene. And I remember, you know, Queen Latifah, Moni Love, just so many great rappers that were putting, you know, forward a good imagery of black women. But
Mhm.
now we look, we switch it up, and we get to the sexy red complex, and this is a gravitating situation. That's the scary part about all this, because we know better, but yet we still gravitate.
But you know what happened when hip hop first started? We had ownership of it,
Yeah,
and we
that's
had
that's true.
pride,
Mm-hmm.
and we were uplifting our people. See, that's why I own Happy Publishing. I'm not going to sell out for money and put out negative content. I
Yeah,
control my content. Right now, white America owns the music industry,
yeah.
and they're going to pay a few guys millions of dollars to put these negative messaging out there. So they're winning.
And that's the thing about it is, I mean, you see that on social media as well. It's like if you hit the live button, you have the intent of having a good time, a positive conversation, but it could take one topic or a name be brought up and the whole room is thrown off. And then before you know it, the numbers are going up because we got people going at each other, things are being said. And, even if I was cooking dinner, I would see my notification box go off, and somebody just sent me a ratchet live. And I have gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't even want to be around it no more, because I'm on a journey for myself and my peace. But at the same time, I don't want to have that gravitating me lower to what
Right.
I need to accomplish. You know what I mean? So it,
Mhm.
it does have a major impact, and everybody got to have a say so in every situation. So,
But you know what hurts me as a black man is to see when we see a person like we using Sexy Red, and we speak about how distasteful that is and how it's creating a negative image of black women, and we'll let other black women know that this is how the world views you, even though we have millions of beautiful, intelligent black doctors, lawyers, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But when this image is being repeated over and over,
over
this
and
is
over.
the image America wants people to see about black women. And when we show our distaste for it, that this is what other black women would say. Hey, y'all hating on her. Let her get hers. We not hating on anything. This is impacting our community in a negative way. And I just don't understand how people don't see that.
Well, like I said, it's cool to be ignorant nowadays. So I think that's why everybody's more, they're more accessible to that
Right.
behavior now, because it does. And yeah, Rocky, you're right. It sucks your energy out of you. I can't only deal with so much. So, do you have a vision on how society can move towards valuing women for their true essence and qualities? If you was to put out a blueprint for that to happen, what would your blueprint be?
My blueprint would definitely have it in the curriculum in the schools, a book, some educational classes. But of course, they don't want that in the schools. You understand what I'm saying? You see where I'm going?
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's where I would start. But also, we have so many creative black, men and women. So all of the black creatives, instead of creating negative content, we need to get together and create positive content. If you create positive content and flood social media with positive content about us, that can also make a change. But a lot of our children are not seeing positive content. Now, don't get me wrong. We got a lot of people out there doing the work, mentoring kids,
Yeah.
writing books, putting out good message. But music is the most powerful form, you know what I'm saying, to get into our consciousness.
Yeah.
And they know that. And somebody in the music industry, some old heads in the music industry need to speak up against all of this negativity. If you notice, no old heads in the music industry are speaking out against what's going on.
Well,
And it's obvious.
TC Tompkins is though. He definitely is. Our dad, but he old school
So
though.
he old school. He he my boy, but he back there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about he doing his job because he was instrumental in a lot of people's careers.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about these people that are still in the game, these other hip hop artists that was speaking positivity, they not speaking against this negativity. And
Yeah.
we need to have these old heads have seminars with some of these young heads and speak about how powerful hip hop was. Show them footage. There's footage of how powerful, self-destruction and everything, and show them the history of hip hop and how it evolved to this negativity.
But you know what the sad thing about it is, my dad a couple of years ago was asked to be a mentor,
Mm.
and he tried it, but it didn't last. And it wasn't by his choice. It was because the people he was trying to mentor was so disrespectful. And that's what like you're shooting yourself in the foot because you have the opportunity to talk to somebody with great knowledge of the industry, marketing, then work with some legends. But it was attitudes. I know it all. Who are you? You old. This is the kind of reception you get when you do try to help people gravitate.
They have
And
no
it's
idea who your dad is. They have no idea.
I'm like, dude, if you stop being an ass and listen, you might become interested because there's a lot of things you can learn. But I don't know what's going on with these people. You have the opportunity to learn. I mean, because like I said, I like to be with people that help me gravitate to be a greater me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got plenty of friends, particularly my girlfriend Jules, that has always, she's like, take a class. It's free. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Why am I stopping myself from being greater? Mm-hmm. So I wish that when you have an opportunity to learn something, to get a new trade up under your belt, why don't you take advantage of it?
Yeah, we have to push to educate our kids, about, our history that they already took it out of schools, but they're trying to make sure that it's illegal for us to teach our children their history.
Exactly.
We as parents, we have to come together and we have to educate our kids, and we have to get back to it takes a village. That village been broken up a long time ago, and
exactly.
And our homes are broken up. So if we can't keep the homes together, we damn sure can't keep a village. So we really got to work on that.
No, we definitely do. And if Rocky is in the background, I can hear you in here. Because I know she's in the room, but I can hear her through the doors that are closed. And I'm like, girl, I don't know, please. So, but next thing I wanted to get to is the practical steps that listeners can take support women with their lives and reclaiming their worth. So let's just say it's a community effort at this point. Mm-hmm. And if it's a community effort, what are some of the simple things that we could do just to try to uplift each other, to come out, from being our better selves versus what is being popular, which is ratchet?
I think as fathers that are in the homes with their daughters, I think when we do have these public seminars, because I have one with some other authors at TSU September 24th, we need to share the stories and our thoughts and educate them on what this world is trying to do for as create a negative stereotype and create negative imagery of Black women. And we have to instill positive affirmations in their minds, and tell them they're beautiful if they're not hearing that at home. And maybe get together and have some type of functions with them and to show them some love and respect, and that they are worthy of greatness.
Yes, they are. And I promise you, I appreciate men like yourself that is putting out this positive content, especially for young women, grown women, and to let us know that there are some positive images, affirmations that we can go to actually, build ourselves up instead of, letting this societal norm be a norm.
Yeah. And you're not the images that society wants you to be, and that's what I tell my daughters all the time. I teach them, I read to them, I tell them I love them all the time, and we have to continue to do that.
Yeah, it's very important for us to do that. But I know, like I said, you have put out all these great books. I want you to tell everybody where they can find your books and where they can follow you on social media.
Well, if you want autographed copies of my books, you can go to averywashington.com. I will sign the books for you and I will ship them myself. If you want the audio books, you can go to amazon.com and get the audio books, the hard copies, or the Kindle editions. And you can also follow me on Instagram at authoraverywashington.com. Like I said, myself and some other authors, we have a upcoming event at Texas Southern University on September 24th. Follow me on Instagram and you'll be able to see the dates and times.
That's awesome. And you guys know Christmas is right around the corner. If you have little ones, you know someone with little ones, little girls, definitely go to his website, pick up this book. Like I said, Avery has never disappointed me with the book. Never, ever, ever. And I am so grateful that you have that book as an addition to all the great stuff you've already put out there.
I want to thank you. And I want to just thank Black women in general, because all of my writing, like I said, it's for Black women, but I was stimulated by Black women. And also I was raised by a family of Black women also. So I just love and appreciate just having conversations with Black women, because you all pour so much into me and I learned so much from you. So I just want to tell Black women out there that I love you, I respect you, and I appreciate you. And I will always uplift you. You'll never be disappointed with any type of content that I put out. And
never, ever. Well, Avery, it's always a pleasure. I'm going to find another reason to have you back on here, man. But I just wanted to bring your words of wisdom and affirmations and positivity to the audience, because in this day and time, we definitely need it, brother. So you are greatly appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate you. Love you back, bro. Tell the wife and everybody we say hi. And, it's love from a former heifer. Hey, tell your daddy I say what's happening too. I need to hook up with him. It's been a while. It's been a minute, but we will definitely link up, Avery. So you have a good night, okay? All right, you too. All right then. I appreciate everybody that came in. Yeah, that was Mr. Avery Washington. Y'all make sure y'all go to his website, buy his books. They're wonderful. They make great gifts, especially his newest children's book. I think we need this positivity in our homes as well as in our communities. So Avery's always been a great guest. So you guys go follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and his website, averywashington.com, and get your copies of some books. Start Christmas shopping early, people. That's what I'm telling you to do. So this has been another edition of Talk to Me, Michelle. I am going to try to go live a little bit more often. I may have to do a solo from time to time, but that's all right. I really appreciate everything. And Miss Walker, yes, thank you so much for letting your husband speak them positive words to us. I appreciate you. And I want to make sure if you guys are not following me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you got to follow me. All the social media handles are at Talk to Me, Michelle. Everywhere, same handle. And make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, if you want to listen to me on the go, season 2 is right around the corner, boys and girls. That's right. I took a 2-week break, but I'm coming back next week. So I have a very, very special first week of episodes for y'all already lined up, including this episode that will be converted to audio for season 2. But y'all missed the heifers, right? And we told y'all we're not doing the gospel heifers no more. But season 2 is going to start off with my dear co-host and sister, Miss Rochelle, aka Rocky. Yes, she will be on the first 2 episodes of my season 2, and I promise you, it is a episode you do not want to miss. It'll probably be one of your favorites. So make sure you listen to me on all your podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple, iHeart. I'm all over the place audio-wise. Now, I did advertise my bucket hats here, and I am a bucket hat fan, y'all. So if you would like to get your edition of this bucket hat, all you got to do is to go to buymeacoffee.com, talk to me, /talk to me, Michelle. You can get your hat. This comes in denim. It comes in black, white. It's all good, y'all. So make sure y'all go grab yourself a hat. Or if you just want to support the show, I'm just going to keep it real. If you want to support the show, I don't mind. So you can also do that at buymeacoffee.com /talk to me, Michelle. So I got a great season 2 coming for you guys audio wise, but make sure you guys come back Thursday night, same place, same time, this week, Thursday. And I'm going to have a great conversation with comedian Conflict. Conflict, I've been knowing for years, and he loves BBW women. And, I appreciate men like that. Y'all, look, there's a variety of love for BBW women, and I wanted him to come on the show to discuss it, because we need some body positivity, some love for us sisters with a couple of roles. You know how it is. It's all good. So until next time, you guys, I hope you guys take care. Make sure you follow me on Instagram again, because that's where I do most of my cutting up. But I will be taking a break from Instagram live wise, unless it's on this streaming platform. Then I'll see y'all in them IG streets. Okay, so everybody subscribe, share, and thank y'all again for tuning in. Everybody have a good one. Bye.
Talk to me in the shadow, on the street lights on the corner. City vibes got a story, feel the beat.